So Pete, I've heard you often talk about the income cliff problem for married people. Can you give us a little more insight on that?
Yeah, I sure can. So this is an example, Andrew, of a common problem that some people have thought about and some have not. And you'll have to watch this video and see if this is applicable to you. But I'll give you a common example. Let's say that you have Bob and Mary, okay? And Bob and Mary are retired. And you know what they're doing? They're recently retired. They're having a blast, okay? They've got kids. They've got grandkids. They're taking the grandkids to theme parks, sometimes out to lunch, to the park, out for ice cream. It's the go-go years in retirement. They still have their health. They're having a blast. And they go on. They do this for a few years. They're having a great time with each other, and retirement is great. But sometimes things don't always continue in a great way. And so here's what happens. Sometimes, unfortunately, Bob passes away. I'll say Bob because there's statistically an 80% chance that us guys die first. And let's say they were making $100,000 a year in retirement. Now you may have a whole lot more income or it may be less. This is just an example that's easy to do math from, but here's the common problem. Bob has a pension. Bob has Social Security. Mary has a very small pension and she's got Social Security. But when Bob dies, as you know, pensions don't always continue. Sometimes they continue 100%. Sometimes they continue at 50%. Sometimes they end completely. But often people take the choice to take the full higher amount. But if they die, there's nothing to the spouse. So after Bob dies, the income to Mary falls off a cliff. This is why we call it the income cliff problem, because the income in this case falls in half.
And Mary would only get to keep one of the Social Securities as well, right?
Yeah, that's correct. In this example, she's losing Bob's pension. She's going to retain her own very small pension and one of the Social Security, the higher of the two. So her income is actually falling off the cliff. Now here's what I ask people. God forbid this happens. Does Mary still want to travel and see her kids and grandkids? Most people say yes. Does Mary need a new car occasionally? Does she even need to get a new roof? Yes, the expenses aren't cut in half, it's just her income. This causes a tremendous problem on top of the loss of losing a life partner here.
So Pete, how can we solve this problem?
It's a good question. We can't solve this for everybody, but we can solve it for a lot of people. And what we do is we take a look at Bob and Mary's situation and we run a one-page income report and we take a look at what guaranteed income they have, pensions, Social Security, and then we try to build from the nest egg other guaranteed income that will be there for Bob while he's alive. And if he predeceases Mary, Mary's going to be okay or in a much better position. She's not going to fall off the giant income cliff. That's the goal. Run the report, do the planning, make some changes and solve the problem ahead of time. And the time to get on this is to get on it ahead of time.
So Pete, what you're saying is if we plan ahead, we can prevent this from happening to a lot of people.
That's exactly what I'm saying. We can run the one-page income report and see if we can actually make some adjustments now that are going to help this couple down the road, whether he dies first or she dies first. We want to make sure that either one is going to be okay with the proper income plan.
So Pete, how can someone get this one-page income report run?
So we do this for all our clients already, but if you were wanting this, we have a few requirements. So number one, you'd have to have $500,000 or more in investable assets. Number two, if you already have an advisor, you'd have to at least be open to making a change.
So Pete, what if someone doesn't meet these qualifications?
So if you don't qualify, no worries. You can still watch all our free videos down below because we just want to give you this information to help you out.
Make sure to subscribe down below for more videos.